And what we say then is, now it's not safe to sit on the sideline. Now you're going to be alone and you're going to be the only one. You've got to be part of this thing. And the point of the video, if you had been able to see it, was that the leader is great. I mean, it's great to be a visionary. But what really it starts a movement is that first follower and that second follower. You don't have to design and implement everything yourself. You don't have to come up with every new idea yourself. You can actually steal stuff. It's on their website, right? I mean, you don't even have to make it up. You can go find things that are working and you can do those things and then be public about that you're doing that. Because that's the second piece, is being really public about what you're doing and speaking it out into the world. If you're a CEO, one of the things that you know is your job basically, as far as I can see, is to hold the vision and have the vision be something that lives inside of the organization. If you don't, who will, right? And you say your vision over and over, and you say it all the time, and you might get to a point where you think, gosh, I think I've said it enough. And we know that at that point, you have not said it enough, even though you're sick of it. Because you think that you've said it so many times. If you're sick of it, you know you're doing a good job. If you're not sick of it yet, you need to say it more. And you keep saying it until people begin to be the followers of it. And as soon as someone stops saying it, it goes away. Vision it like a chair. You know, this chair will be here, right? But that your organization is committed to something, as soon as you say it, it starts to dissipate. So it's all about saying it. It's all about having a narrative around it. That's why I love this idea of connected capitalism, because it gives you a new way to say it. I'd love you to have 17 new ways to say what you're doing, so that you can say it 17 different times. Every time you say it, it lives a little more. Look at examples of the work that you're doing, and you can look out there and see how the work you're doing makes a difference with vendors. I was working with Cisco Systems. We had an employee benefit program when I was in the mortgage and real estate industry, and we would do a mortgage and you would get $250 back if you did a mortgage with us if you were an employee at Cisco. But if you wanted to, you could give that $250 to Habitat and we would match it with $250 more. Now, truth, I didn't know that much about Habitat. I knew Cisco loved Habitat. Cisco was involved in Habitat. So because Cisco is involved in Habitat, now I'm talking about Habitat over at another company. And money is going to Habitat that wasn't going to go there. Well, that's all interesting, but here's the really great part, is when people actually gave the money and said, you know what, let's do the option B. That made it live inside of that organization more. That was something they were telling their friends about that they were doing inside of that organization. And so that's all great and fine. But what's really great and fine is file number 17345. I don't really know if that was the file number, but I don't want to tell you their name because that wouldn't be right. When we were at closing and she was talking about the fact that she was going to give the $500 versus get the $250 and keep it, she said, you know, when I grew up, we moved a lot, and I just never felt safe. I just hope that this $500 will help some little girl feel safe. But you don't think that I was trying to do more loans that day? I mean, I got that what I was doing was going to take care of some little girl out there. So when I say be public and share yourself, I don't want you to call and tell people how many houses Habitat builds. I don't want you to call and tell people how much they raised. You know, that's all just kind of information, right? That's like if I had a cup of coffee and I said to you, this coffee's really good. It's hot, smells good, it's got a little berry smell to it. That's just telling about something. I want you to share with people. I want you to say, here, have some coffee. I want you to taste it. I want you to drink it. I want you to let it fill your body with warmth. You know how you do that? It's not by saying, well, we built this house and we got done on October 14th. It's by saying, well, we were working on this house, and let me tell you about Mrs. Jones, and how she cried when we gave her the keys and said, you know, this is the first second chance I've ever gotten. You've all got a story. I mean, you're not here because you don't have a story, right? I can count on it. When I talk to people and they're involved in things, I can count on they've got something to share. But you know what I can't count on? That they'll share it